Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another video of ours. Today I'm doing a ones to watch video for 2024. We've done similar videos, but they're a little bit different, where we've done players that are under 21 to watch that pretty much have come through the academy of their clubs and best 10 signings of the season. So if you haven't seen them, check them out. This one's a little bit different. It's just simply 10 players to watch. No particular order, anything like that. I'll get straight right into it. So first of all, Warren Davis of Drogheda United is a player to watch. Now, you could argue he could have fitted into the under-21 video, but he played quite a few games for Drogheda last year, coming off the bench in particular. But at 18 years of age, he's a player to really watch this season. A couple of big goals last season, like one against Pats at Richmond Park, for example. He scored a couple of goals in the Jim Malone Cup against Dundalk recently. He could play up front in a pair, in my opinion. He could possibly play up front in his own. He could also play as an advanced attacker wide, in my opinion. He's the type of forward that he's very good at pressing. He presses an awful lot and he really hounds defenders out of it. He could benefit from playing with Pirro at times as well. It'd be interesting to see if that happens at Drogheda this season. I could see it happening certainly mid-game or into the second half. Whether it be a thing that they start with, I'm not so sure, but Warren is only 18. I think he's going to really add to Drogheda this season, so keep an eye on Warren Davis of Drogheda United. Next up, we've got Conor Parsons, Waterford FC. Of course, he got a crucial goal in the playoff against Cork City last year. Fantastic goal. Recently Waterford have had some good left wingers at the club, including Phoenix Patterson, and Parsons is kind of similar-ish kind of a player. He's 23 years of age. He likes to cut inside onto that right foot and try and bend one into the corner. He's a scorer generally of good goals. When he does find a net, they're usually very good goals. A big game player, arguably. He's got a bit of swagger as well. I suppose Waterford fans will feel that his consistency will need to improve, but I just feel at 23 years of age now and being in the Premier Division that he'll relish a challenge, and I believe he will be really up for that challenge. As I said, good dribbler of the ball too, got good pace, eye for a goal. Conor Parsons, Waterford FC. Next up is a player that everyone will know, and it's Danny Grant of Bohemians. He's only 24. I'd say people think he's older than 24, but when he was signed by Poes last season, I sensed he struggled. I think I did make a comment at one point that I felt like he needed a pre-season. So he has this pre-season now for Bohemians. So I think this season's going to tell a lot where Danny Grant is as a player these days. It's a massive, massive season for him. It could be, in many ways, a make or break season for him. But if he can show even 90% of the signs of the player that was there before he went to England the last time from Huddersfield from Poes, then he'll be like pretty much a new signing for Bohemians. So at 24, Grant, he still has ability. I think he's suffering from a bit of confidence. When you suffer so many injuries as well, it's always difficult to pick up where you've left off, and that's where the confidence issue comes into it. But clearly there's a player in Danny Grant. He's one to watch this season. He could be brilliant this season, but if he continues in the vein of last season, then he'll struggle to get into the Poes team. But definitely one to keep an eye on is Danny Grant, Bohemians. Next up is another Bohemians player, and it's Kean Bur, who was out in Longford for a good chunk of last season on loan, where he was excellent. 21 years of age, centre back. Came back into Bohemians and played a number of games at the back end of last season. Played the cup final as well due to a suspension to... Who was out in the cup final? Was it Radowski? I can't even remember this stage. Either him or Novak were missing. I can't remember. I thought it was Radowski, wasn't it? Kasper Radowski that was missing. So he came in, he's quite assured, but obviously he's a lot of improvement to do. But with him likely to start alongside Rob Cornwall, I think this is a massive season for Kean Bur, and I think he can take the confidence from his good loan spell at Longford and the confidence from those starts at the back end last season for Poes and take it into this season. Kean Bur and Bohemians. Next up is another Kean, spelt differently but a K. Kean Levy of St Patrick's Athletic. Again, another player that came in halfway through last season, and he was actually injured when he signed, so it took him a while to get up to speed. But as the season went on, he gradually showed what he could do. Brilliant winner against Sligo. Played in a number of positions for Pats. At Shelbourne, when he was there, he's mainly on the left wing. He could tuck in as well. But at Pats, tend to play in that number 10, sometimes dropped in off deep too. So he can play those roles. He's a very hard worker, but essentially he's an attacking player. He's got an eye for goal. He's got good dribbling ability, good ball carrier. Question mark, where should he play for Pats? But I'd like to see him a wing, out in the wing generally. Not as a winger, but an inside forward. I think he'd be better served there, in my personal opinion. But either way, he's definitely a player to watch. And only 21, he can only get better. Keane, Levy, St Patrick's Athletic. Next up is Matty Smith of Shelbourne. And the reason I've put Matty in this list, because Jack Moylan's left the club for a start. Matty has had a strange career, but he's changed a lot of clubs in Ireland in the last number of years, and he hasn't settled because of it, in my opinion. We saw flashes of what he could do with Shelbourne. Picked up an injury last season, missed a lot of it. But I believe he might play as a striker an awful lot for Damien Duff's Shelbourne this season. He likes to play that type of player. Jack Moylan was there last year. At Pats, when he scored 12 or 13 goals, he was scoring them mainly from a striker's position. Sometimes he could be better in his composure in front of goal, but he's busy. He presses very well and will hound centre-backs, basically. He has got an eye for goals, we know too, and he can be creative, but I think it's a big season for him if he's fit. He recently scored a hat-trick actually in a friendly against Longford too, so if he stays fit, I think Matty Smith's going to be a massive player for Shelbourne this season. 26 years of age now. Is he the oldest in this? Second oldest in this list, actually. The oldest in this list is Paul Mullen of Derry City at 27. Now, another player, once again, that came in late last season, halfway through the season pretty much, and we saw some of what he could do. He's a funny player in a way. He plays in the right wing generally, but he's small, but he's actually quite quick. You wouldn't think he's that quick when you watch him play. He's more of an old-fashioned winger in many ways, in my opinion. He might get to the byline and cross the ball. He's more of an assister than a scorer. If he can add more goals to his game, he'll be massive for Derry. But having him in, I think, from the start of the season is kind of similar to when you sign him for Derry City. He'll have interesting options in the wing now with Daniel Kelly and obviously Michael Duffy at the club. So Paul McMullen, definitely one to watch for Derry City this season. Next up is a player from a promoted side also, and that's David Hurley of Galway United. David Hurley scored 21 league goals last year from a midfield position, and he's not a number 10, by the way. 21 goals in the league, 25 I think in all competitions. But the good thing about Dave Hurley is he's not going to score that many goals in the Premier Division, let's be real, but set piece is brilliant. Good at free kicks, direct free kicks, very good delivering corners, set pieces, and Galway are very dangerous from that. Hurley is obviously a provider of that too, but he can play a number of roles. He's a big, strong lad who can get around the pitch. He can play as a defensive midfielder, picking the ball up off the centre-backs. He could play as a 10 and just as an all-round midfielder. So he ticks a lot of boxes for Galway, and if he brings even some of the form he showed in the first division, translates that to the Premier Division, he's going to be a really good player. Now, two more players on the list, and the next one's the Shamrock Rovers players, 26-year-old German Leon Poes. The reason why this is a big season for Leon Poes is the first season that he's the proper number one at Shamrock Rovers. He's been up there. Poles came in and did very well. And he's improved so much that Shamrock Rovers haven't felt the need to go out and get a goalkeeper. I thought when he came in last season, he's improved his game. 26 now as well is a good age for a goalkeeper. Now that he's number one, he's one to watch, and we'll really find out this season how good he really is. So keep an eye on Leon Poles of Shamrock Rovers. Finally on the list is a player that feels like he's around a long time as such. He's only 20 years of age. That's Rhyan O'Kane at Dundalk. You know, with a lot of uncertainty at Dundalk and players coming in that we're looking at and we don't know how good they are. Ryan has a lot of ability. He's only 20, remember, too. Inconsistent, yes, but he's a kid that has a lot of ability. He can finish, he can dribble. He's a confidence player, there's no doubt about that. But if he can bring a bit more consistency to his game, believe in himself a little better, because he has got the quality, he could be a massive player for Dundalk this season. So guys, that's it. That's the 10 players that I'm interested in seeing this season. I think they could have really, really good season, or certainly intriguing how they get on. Let me know in the list below, in the comments below even, if you have a list or a player or two at your club that you feel is one to watch this season. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit your bell notification button so you don't miss a video. Keep an eye on those other videos as well. Season's nearly starting. We've got a lot of videos coming up. Premier Division prediction video where I predict the league table. First Division as well with Oisin, Gavin and Keith. They're doing that one too. There's other bits and pieces coming up. We'll see you later.